80's and 90's video game commercials. I have just one question. What the hell?
It's the Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, Libras.
Oh, that's it! What? Perfect! So now! Video game commercials mainly consist of either gameplay footage or people being completely weird or being an actual sell for the game. Like, oh, I want to buy that game. But when you have something like this atrocity, it ruins everything, and it doesn't even make you want to play the game. That's one of the best games on the NES too. Why would you market it like that? Now, some of these commercials can be very strange, and some of them are actually pretty nostalgic for some people. Like the one with Keep Apicary and the Sonic Mania Plus game was like a remake of the original Sonic the Hedgehog game when it was first made, which is pretty cool. 80's and 90's seem to be like some of the strangest times in the world. I never lived through it, but I heard it was like some of the craziest times. Like you got like a bunch of drugs. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that since 80's and 90's was such a weird period, that they decided to make the video games commercials just like it too. Maybe if like it's making it off a movie, they show clips from a movie, which would make sense. Or they might just show complete just gameplay. They don't even care about it. Or in the sense of Tasmania, seizures. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that from the 2000 period till now, it seems to be some of the most normal commercials for video games. But 80's and 90's, 70's didn't really have that much because that was just like the beginning of video games. 80's and 90's though. Okay. To make a good example, I read the book Console Wars, and they would go through, talk about when like the CEO of Sega would be done finishing a commercial, and some of the Genesis commercials are actually pretty decent. Like the Blast Processing commercial, which is always great to watch, and then you got Super Nintendo commercials over here. I'm getting really confused by this point, and I need help because I can't figure out what the heck is going on. Sonic 2, Echo the Dolphin, Streets of Rage 2, these are all in the Blast Processing commercial. And these are some of the greatest games on the Super Nintendo. These are some of the greatest games on the Sega Genesis. And Echo, actually, never mind. But Streets of Rage 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 are great games. And those are definitely the games you definitely want to advertise in, this hype, commercial of your video game console. And Super Nintendo does that sometimes too. But the thing between Nintendo and Sega was that Sega was generally targeted to more adult people, more adult kids, and Nintendo is more went to children. The thing is that you can actually, sometimes it actually doesn't count because, Killer Instinct, that was N64, isn't it? But some of the games in Super Nintendo have blood. Doom had blood. So you can't really contradict everything to be kids for Nintendo or teenagers. Upper teenagers and stuff like that for Sega. The 90's were probably more weird than the 80's. And the 80's definitely was, basically half of the 80's was dedicated to Nintendo and the NES. So these commercials had to be good, or else why would anybody want to buy this stupid mess? Let me just get into the N64 parts, where they started to get to those 2000 years, where they aren't as strange, they can still be pretty strange, like the Xbox commercial, when the baby comes out, and then he flies, and then he lands in his coffin. How about the Moms React to Dead Space 2 trailer or commercial, whatever you want to call it? That's actually not a bad idea. The thing between that and other commercials is that one can actually work well, and it's kind of funny. And these, it makes my mind boggle, and it makes me want to kill myself. Hello. Shoot. Now, commercials can be in a sense of many different things, You got the normal ones, the weird ones, and slightly normal and weird ones. Most of the time, they're weird. Most of the time, they're normal. And pretty much all the time, they got a little bit of, both. Like, what is that 2000s commercial with the kid yelling at his mom the F word? Oh yeah, that was the E10 Plus game. That was a good one too, that was funny. Sponge cake? Basically, guys, what I'm trying to say in this whole video is that this Legend of Zelda commercial should have never been made!